Hey folks, Mr. Justin here with Secret Weapon Miniatures and another 2-minute tutorial for you. Today a very brief overview of the inks I use when I'm airbrushing. A lot of folks that have been watching these tutorials or watching me paint for a long time have noticed that I use a lot of Dalla inks specifically when I'm painting. And folks have sent a lot of messages, both by email and Facebook and such, asking me specifically about these inks. They are ACMI certified non-toxic. They come in both opaque and translucent colors. I have used a lot of inks. I prefer the Dalla Rowney. I'll talk about why very briefly. One of the things too, when you're looking at the Dalla Rowney inks, you'll find this wee little spot down here. There'll be a little O or a little T in those brackets. There's an O for you. Here's a T. And that lets you know right on the label whether it's an opaque or a translucent ink to tell you how thin it is. They work beautifully with any of the acrylic paints I use. I do recommend using an acrylic ink, which is why I like the Dalla Rowney. Liquitex makes some as well. There are plenty of other brands in the market. But whereas like my P3 paint, I've got some, this is the Midland Flesh, right? Yeah, Midland Flesh, which I use to start my flesh tone. Doesn't really work for me as a color by itself. The same is true though of the Dalla Rowney Flesh tone. Theirs is too yellow. I find Avalanche too pink. But you can see right away the difference in consistency between the two. You know, I had to thin the P3 obviously a lot, and that's fine. Lasts a long time that way, goes really far. But one of the things I can do, because they're both acrylic, is take some of my opaque red earth, put a couple of drops in it. Add a bit of water. Mix that up. You can see right away I get nice color mix between the two paints. And I have mixed my inks with my Vallejo paints, with my P3 paints, with my Reaper paints. It doesn't matter. I have not found acrylic to acrylic paint mixing that does not work out for me yet. A little bit of yellow. So we've got a nice warm flesh tone coming together here. So I like them mostly for their consistency. I like the fact that they come in translucent colors right out of the pot, so I know what I'm getting myself into. And for what I do, the way that I airbrush, I use a lot of very thin translucent layers, so working with inks for me just makes more sense. Different strokes for different folks, though. I know plenty of great painters that think that inks are just awful and you shouldn't use them. You know, I like to joke that paint brands is one of the things that we as hobbyists should not discuss publicly because people feel strong feelings about it. But for me, I really like the Dalla Rowney inks. They work for me. I use them a lot. I enjoy them. There it is. Any specific questions on the inks? Hey, drop a comment. Let me know. I'll be happy to help as much as I can. And as always, you can reach me at justin@secretweaponminiatures.com or on Facebook /secretweaponminiatures. Thanks again for watching.